Welcome back to Han Took Shots First. This is part one of our coverage on Rogue One, featuring our friends Brandon and the Classy Alcoholic of the Mixed Company podcast. I had to break this one up into two parts because we talked a lot and we got drunk. So enjoy part one. Welcome back to Han Took Shots First. This week, I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. I'm Derek.
I'm with the Force.
I'm Brandon.
I'm the Classy Alcoholic.
Chut chut.
McClunky.
McClunky. McClunky.
McClunky. Houdini. Carabas.
Say more words.
I can't think of another one right now. Thanks, Eric.
Empire Strikes Back. Did I do it right?
We get a Carabast in this.
I did see it in the subtitles.
And I don't know if that's the first reference to it, because I know it from Rebels, but it could easily be from Clone Wars.
Isn't that the name of Gina Carano's character?
Carabast?
No, it's Cara Dune. Right?
Kara's passed. We're not doing her show anymore.
Nope. But we are doing, this week, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story from 2016. And we have two guests, as you heard at the top. Brandon, who has not been on Han Took Shots First, but he has been on Bad Movies, Worst People. He did the best impersonation of Osama bin Laden I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's true.
Which episode was that?
Super Mario Brothers. And he did it in a Mario voice.
Awesome.
Because you can't do impersonations of a race that you don't belong to, or a skin color, you know?
Yeah. No, I
And
frowned
so we were
upon.
trying to figure out how to do Osama bin Laden in a very classy way.
such a classy progressive move, y'all. I appreciate it.
We were trying to put a little respect on our Osama bin Laden impersonation.
This is the best ad for best movie or Bad Movies, Worst People I've ever heard.
It was a really fun episode, so check
Yeah.
that one out.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers.
And
Back
Classy
in,
has been
July.
on both feeds.
That's right.
Yes.
What was it? That always bet on black.
Yeah, Passenger 57, yeah.
Great Movies, Worst
Yeah.
People is what we called that episode.
Yeah. And then he wanted to be on more Andor. We're just dicks.
Yeah. So we had him on the last episode of Andor, where he covered all of the episodes of Andor.
I had to make up for lost time.
Part of me wanted to watch all of Andor before I watched this.
Right? Me too.
Dude, our timing is so close to being right.
Yeah.
On this, because we're so close to season 2.
I know.
It's
That's
a
coming
couple
out
months
in months.
Yeah, April 25th.
Yeah, 1992.
There was a rebellion on the streets.
Tell me, where were you?
This movie is directed by Gareth Edwards, who directed the 2014 Godzilla, which we talked about on our Patreon on Bad Movies, Worst People. He also directed a movie called Monsters and The Creator, which I thought was awesome.
Creator was good.
Even if it's a bit of a rehash of everything.
I missed that one, but it looked cool.
It's really cool.
I'll check it out.
I have it on 4K.
Of course you do. It'll be fun to see if the graphics hold up, unlike parts of this movie.
Yeah.
But
Fair.
that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I kind
It
of.
was the beginning of what is now probably the end of society, but that's good. That's
It did.
good.
Yeah, no shit.
good,
It's
you
going to be
know.
putting actors out of work from here on
Yeah.
out.
We don't need
No
people
shit.
anymore. We have computers.
It didn't look as bad as I thought it might. But then when somebody else walks into the room with that person, that's when you notice it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's just a really good cutscene from a video
We're
game.
referring, of course, to Tarkin and Leia.
Yeah,
It doesn't look as good as I remembered it looking when I saw it in theaters,
for sure.
To
but
be
it
fair,
doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to look.
Yes.
We did watch A New Hope today, right after Rogue One.
Yeah, because we're not
and
maniacs.
Tarkin looks kind of like a ghost.
I mean,
He's not doing great, man.
because it looks shitty, so they made the cartoon look shitty to match it.
Why does that cartoon look so shitty? Have you seen the fucking source material?
why does Peter Cushing look like he has less wrinkles? Oh, he's a computer this time.
Peter Cushing was 90 then, so
Yeah, wearing his house slippers all around set.
So this was, I said, directed by Gareth Edwards, written by a bunch of people, surprisingly, because it came out well. The story was by a guy named Gary Whitta and a guy named John Knoll. So Gary Whitta wrote the story for the video game Prey from Xbox.
Oh, okay.
I remember that.
Yeah,
and
me too.
he wrote Book of Eli and After Earth. But I won't hold that against him because this is cool.
Wait, did you not like Book of Eli?
Book of Eli was okay.
You
After
don't like
Earth
After
was
Earth.
awful.
Gotcha.
I
Understood.
turned it off like half.
Is that
not
the
even
Will?
halfway.
Is that the Will Smith?
Will Smith and
Vehicle?
his,
And
and his
Baby Will Smith?
Bab.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was actually.
I thought that was an M. Night Shyamalan.
It is an
It
M. Night
is an M.
Shyamalan
Night
movie
Shyamalan
that
ding
they
dong.
didn't put up on the front, like directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
That's when he was in director jail and
Yeah.
director probation. He was like, "We'll let you do it, but you can't put your name on it. You can't. Don't do the press tours.
It
Just
was
shut up and stay
almost
in the
a
back."
death sentence to have his name on a movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
do
like,
me a
no,
favor.
I'm not falling for this shit again.
Don't put a twist in it. Thank you.
And this other guy, John Knoll, who's credited with the story, he's not a writer. This is the only thing he's credited as writing. He's a visual effects guy for ILM. And apparently when Disney purchased Lucasfilm, he heard a bunch of their like early concepts and he's like, these suck.
Yeah.
So he came up with a pitched it to Kathleen Kennedy, and she was like, yeah, do that.
Brandon,
Do you know what
just
else he's
told me
known
this
for?
today.
Do you know what else he's known for?
What's that?
He and his brother invented Photoshop.
What?
I love this
Photoshop
guy.
was invented through
The
ILM,
software-
and
oh,
this
that makes
guy
sense,
and his
actually.
brother are the two guys that created the Photoshop program. essentially.
Okay, so
Turns
it's like an
out-
Al Gore internet kind of a thing. Where it's like he didn't invent it, but he was part of the. He was part of the thing
And
that
I
created
made
it.
Excuse
Rogue
me.
One,
You
which is
sound-
his greatest achievement over Photoshop.
You
I'm
sound
sorry.
ridiculous. It's pronounced allegory.
My bad. Sorry, English is not my first language. My bad.
Mine either. It's Arabosh.
And then there's two people credited with the screenplay. I think the one guy wrote the first draft, and then Tony Gilroy came in and fixed it.
Yeah.
the
Tony
God,
Gilroy
Tony
is the
Gilroy.
big
Shout
one.
out to
Yeah,
Tony
dude,
Gilroy.
bow
So
down.
we have Chris Weitz, who is credited for writing Ants, the Woody Allen animated
Oh, yeah.
ant movie, Nutty Professor 2,
Oh, the good one.
Golden Compass, the Netflix Pinocchio, but also the creator.
Not even the good one.
All right.
So, and then Tony Gilroy, who we talked about extensively on Andor, wrote
go-
all
go
those
back
Bourne
and listen.
movies. Yeah, all those Bourne movies. Michael Clayton, Dolores Claiborne.
I just told him to go listen. Now you're telling him.
and we talked more about him.
Devil's advocate.
Apparently, he was paid $5 million for 12 weeks to work on revising the script and the reshoots, especially the third act. And he recommended his brother, the producers hire his brother John Gilroy to edit it. So good for him.
I mean, it came out exceptionally well for how many. Brandon just told me that story and another one I'm sure you're about to drop now. Like it's really well for how many writers and reshoots. What's the one you talked about with the trailer?
Last time I was on, we talked about how bad a movie can be when you have so many rewrites and reshoots,
Yeah.
i.e. Super Mario Brothers. This movie somehow,
Wait a minute, did he just
some
call that
way
movie
came out
bad?
the exact opposite way because so many people rewrote it and did things
Uh-huh.
to the extent that the first two trailers for this movie, if you can get like your hands and watch it on YouTube, nothing in those trailers is in the actual movie.
Yeah.
Like nothing at all is in the actual movie. Like that's how much it was recut and reshot, but it's still, I mean,
It shouldn't work. It shouldn't.
I probably don't know as much as you, but I do know that Gareth Edwards straight up said like he and Tony Gilroy worked together. So he wasn't like kicked out, fired, and they brought another guy to rehash the work. They both was like, we need some help. Let's bring Tony in, and together they shepherded this new cut. So I think that's what really did it.
It helps
in
it
my
makes
opinion.
it cohesive.
Yeah, I mean Tony Gilroy, Michael Clayton. I'm sure those Bourne movies are good too. I saw the first one.
I was gonna say, you've never seen the Bourne movies? They fucking rule. They're really good.
I saw the first one, but that close-up shaky fighting thing makes me nauseous.
Yeah.
If you can't do it,
Stop
it's-
watching movies hungover or drunk, dude.
That's the okay.
Okay. I guess I just won't live then.
I guess I'll watch them asleep.
Let's go start reading.
the shaky camera was peak technology in 1996. Thank you very much.
That was like 2004 or something.
Yeah, no, he said what it was. It was peak in '96. They were
was
still
me.
using it in 2004.
That was me trying to make movies with my Sony little disc cam, the one that had the little tiny mini disc back in the day. That was my technique.
Fuck
And
yeah.
speaking of redoing entire things, I don't have the other guy's name. I thought I wrote it down, but there was an entire score done that was then thrown away because it was done to the other movie that never materialized.
Oh wow.
So this guy, Michael Giacchino, came in and had a month to write and produce the score for this movie.
Well
now, this
done.
guy also has admitted that he took a lot, and if you listen to the score, he took a lot and borrowed a lot from John Williams' score.
Sure, absolutely.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
You
Now,
can tell right away.
The reason why I think he was picked and was able to do this as cleanly as he did is because he also stepped in to what's the second Jurassic Park? Jurassic World?
Yeah,
Fallen
that's
Kingdom. Yeah, Jurassic World Fallen
he,
Kingdom
He
is the second one.
basically
Oh, I was
did
going with
one
the
of the few
original.
Jurassic Park movies that John Williams didn't do the score to, and kind of did the exact same thing previous to doing a Star Wars movie. So,
so
I
he's
always
just a
thought the
big
score
John
was
Williams
really
fan.
good.
Well, who
and it's
isn't?
basically just rehashed John
You beat
Williams.
me by half a second.
Johnny Dubs, bow down.
Yeah, well, this guy also he's done the score for a bunch of Pixar shit, a bunch of Marvel shit, most of the newer Star Trek movies,
The Batman, Lost.
the Batman, Jojo Rabbit, Next Goal Wins.
Ooh.
So he's done a bunch of scores for movies.
He's
that
good.
are
He's his shit is good. Like Michael Giacchino's
I was going to
legit.
say, it's all lining up pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about one of the reasons we're here. One of the reasons we spent this whole last year talking about Star Wars.
The best thing Disney has ever done with this IP.
Yes.
This
Absolutely.
movie.
Yeah.
I gotta disagree. Oh,
You
I gotta
can.
disagree.
Show your work though.
Sure. Well, first of all, I gotta say, I like this. I want to say a lot less than I did during my rewatch, but I liked it less,
Okay.
especially after watching Andor 3 times.
Oh well.
Yeah, it did. It lost some luster. I still like it. I would say I like it a lot.
Mhm.
I can't get into loving it.
Is
But
it
it
because
sounds
there
like-
was no Wilhelm scream?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
literally
that's-
the
it's
only
always
reason
gonna
why.
suffer.
That's it. Lost like 2 stars because of that shit. No, it did. Well, we'll get into the details.
So, but
about it,
Andor is your favorite Disney?
Last Jedi still,
Last
I think.
Jedi,
Last
okay.
Jedi, then Andor, but it's on its ass. It's like it also depends on when you ask me. Like when I finish an Andor rewatch, I'm like, this is the best.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, Andor wouldn't exist without this either.
True.
So
And here's my thing. I would love to see what Tony Gilroy could have done by himself in this world with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
With no
I
Gareth
mean, because
Edwards.
the third act is the best part of this movie, and that's the part he pretty much wrote.
It is. I just can't wait. I can't wait to get there.
The 40 minutes of destruction.
It is just.
I don't know. All the blood was rushing from my head to my penis, and I lost sight for a while. I was so
it's
excited.
It gets all blurry, but
And it's not the best part. The best part is the fucking horror scene at the end. I could pop that on any minute. And
Oh,
just,
I've got a video to show you guys when we're done. Remind me. People have been taking that scene of Darth Vader and putting other songs over it.
Oh my god.
And I have one that may be the best use of AC/DC. It's definitely the best use of AC/DC
Not even- yeah,
in
not even
human
maybe.
history. So
you run a movie podcast and you're going to say that's the best use of AC/DC
Yes, I
over
am.
Maximum
For Maximum
Overdrive?
Overdrive. Yes,
I am.
thank you. Jesus.
Oh, I have to watch this clip then.
Yeah, I know.
because you know what Maximum Overdrive doesn't have? Darth
Sober
Vader
people.
murking a bunch of dudes.
Oh.
Oh yeah, and people not on cocaine.
Yeah. That's the only movie Stephen King directed, and he said it's the most cocaine he's ever done.
Darth Vader versus Goblin Truck.
Darth Vader versus Stephen King on cocaine. I don't know. I think Stephen King might have young spry Stephen King.
Yeah.
Just
Pre-car accident.
flying off that yayo, bro. I think he's got a chance.
He's got a chance.
He does. I'm not saying he's gonna win. I'm saying he's got a good.
He's gonna
chance.
come at him like a spider monkey on
I
cocaine.
feel like Stephen King might be like a little bit of a Sith. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, he's closer to Salacious Crumb.
I've seen his face. It's very similar to that Darth Plagueis we saw in Acolyte.
He's a mun. Fucking part of the banking clan, I tell you.
So we start out this movie with Galen Erso, played by Mads Mikkelsen, who no one's ever heard of, right?
No, he's new.
I think you meant sexy Mads Mikkelsen, which he can pull off any look, but the beard and the long hair.
This is peak Mads.
Same thing. Any Mads speak Mads.
What did
I'm
I
saying-
just get done watching?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Mads.
Exactly.
I
Literally.
feel like that. I do feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to
beard,
pause
long
because
hair.
I know that Mads Mikkelsen is one of your favorites. So.
He's my favorite. He's also the best Hannibal Lecter. And again, clean shaven, kind of shorter cropped hair with the
Yeah.
suits. Oh, mwah. Beautiful. But
The
any
best
look.
Hannibal Lecter.
That's what I said. I
And
said
now
that shit with my
he
chest.
has-
Say that shit with my chest.
So you really love the greasy wet version?
Yeah, greasy with Mads.
Greasy wet
Have you
Mads.
seen any of the Pusher movies?
Not yet. They're on my list.
I
have all
love
three.
the Pusher movies.
Okay.
So much. If you are a fan of his, you have to see the Pusher movies.
I will. No, they're up there for this.
If people like the movie Drive, you should watch the
Yeah, 'cause
Pusher
I like
it's,
Drive,
it's
Nicholas Winding.
Nicholas. That's I couldn't
Yes.
think of his first name.
Winding Refn.
I think it's Winning. It's pronounced Winning because he's Dutch or something. But Nicholas Winning Refn is his
It's
first
pronounced Winning?
movie.
Yes,
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's I mean,
no disrespect. I'm not like
Great
intentionally
movies.
mispronouncing his name. Like, oh, Winding.
no, yeah, I always
Refn,
said
douche.
Whining,
Yeah,
and then
know
I
what
just
you don't
recently
know.
learned that
Well,
I think
and
it's Winning.
as a white person, those Swedish and Dutch names are wild.
Yeah,
The pronunciation, you're like, how the fuck did you get that? That is nothing but that's 8 consonants in a row.
the name is literally Winding. Nope,
Nuh-uh.
Winning.
Now when I say it,
Hashtag Winding.
the only thing worse is Canadian goalies. How is that wah?
I got that tiger blood.
rolling.
Hashtag winding.
Mads Mikkelsen, also his brother in fucking Star Wars now.
Yeah,
That's right.
He voiced Thrawn and then plays his live action.
Yep.
Right.
So all the Mickelsons, they're gonna take over Star Wars Galaxy.
Fuck yeah.
I'm okay
Better
with
than the
that.
Skywalker saga. Mikkelsen madness.
I'm here for our new Mickelson overlords. Welcome that shit.
I volunteer as tribute.
So
Mads,
it's
Lars, and Todd.
There's just a brother named Todd.
Hi, I'm Cletus Mickelson. I'm the cousin twice removed. Yeah, Cletus Mickelson.
he gets appointed as head of sanitation.
Oh god damn it! I hate these fucking family reunions. Fucking Cletus always shows up.
But so the Empire's come for them, or he has come for them. He being
Krennic.
Orson Krennic, played by Ben Mendelsohn.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. And I really feel like I know Ben Mendelsohn, but going through his credits very quickly,
I
I
mean,
was like, all right,
Marvel.
yeah, he's in Captain Marvel and Secret Invasion, but I feel like I've seen him other places.
Okay,
Dark Knight
here's-
Rises.
Here's what I think that
He
it is
always
about him.
plays
Yeah,
a
that's right, Dark
shitty,
Knight Rises.
rich, weaselly guy.
And that's what it is. And he reminds me of every asshole in every 80s movie that you've ever seen. He's
Yeah.
like, he's the shitty principal. He's the guy in the neighborhood who was a jerk. He's like, he is the guy, he's the manager at the mall. Like, you kids! He
He's the
is
bank
that
loan officer that
character.
denied you.
Exactly.
Ready
He
Player
is-
One. He's a bad guy in that one.
Oh yeah, that's right. He is in that.
I
So,
think I
he's just a jerk.
but he's also playing the same character forever, and this is the start of when he's still good. I think he's kind of been coasting for a while, to be honest with you.
Oh, when I say I love him in this.
Yeah.
I don't really
Sure.
defend him in anything else because this is his role for me.
Yeah.
If he never acted again, I'm like, you did it, you son
he's
of a bitch.
probably got some like crikey movies where he's really good in back home.
Yeah. Oh, is he a crikey?
He's a crikey guy.
Okay,
Ah,
I thought he was.
okay.
I thought he was a
Oh.
Brit. That makes sense.
He's not a British. He's a crikey.
Yeah. Get
That
it right,
explains
dude.
everything.
He's not one of those colonialists. He's one of the colonias.
He's one of the penal colonists.
But yeah, he's coming to take Mads Mikkelsen away because they need him to finish this weapon he was working on because he's a shitty farmer. That's the way he puts it. He doesn't say shitty.
I was
but
gonna say,
you know what I
did it say shitty farm in the Star Wars movie?
No, because we know where the first shit happened. The first shit in Star Wars, the
Was it
word, not
Andor?
someone shitting, was Andor.
It's simple work, but it's honest.
The first shit was in the
although that
trash
might have
compactor.
also been the first time someone shit in Star Wars because it's the first time we saw a toilet, right? In Andor.
Yeah, we hear about refreshers, but we never really see one.
The first shit was in the original Star Wars in the trash compactor because they were waiting in shit. You got it.
That's just a Dianoga fucking breeding ground.
Well, maybe they breed in shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or they eat it like
cockroaches.
fucking puppies.
I think they eat the poop and they excrete perfectly. Ooh, sorry. I found out that there is a thing in the Star Wars books that can turn any physical matter into fuel. So the
That's just
Death
called
Star
salads.
is run on shit.
That's-
Like they found a way that they could.
They ran
get-
out of kyber crystals. So they
like the
started
most
using shit.
no, just to fuel it.
Oh, okay.
Like that's why there's so many people on there. They need all that dookie fuel.
And apparently it's canon that because we find out in Rogue One that it can go into
hyperspace.
hyperspace.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'd really like to see
that's
that.
a lot of shit.
I mean, you
man.
figured it had to, because how else is it going to get there? It's like, all right, we have to get to the Yavin 4, the fourth moon of Yavin. We'll be there in 26 years.
Slow and steady.
All we have is sublight drive.
Tarkin's like, have you heard the story of the tortoise and the hare?
Welcome to the Death
I
Star
don't think-
commissary. We only sell chili. That's all we serve is chili.
Can I get a soda? Only prune juice.
We did just open a Taco Bell. Not very different.
Just cut to R2 fucking, whoa! As they're flying through space.
It's like Richie Rich with his own McDonald's, but on the Death Star, they've got a Taco Bell.
So that's what R2 was spraying all over those guys in that prequel movie.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't oil.
It's Chipotle.
So anyway, Mads Mikkelsen says his wife Lyra is dead, and then she immediately comes out of the bushes. And
You dumb bitch.
I love Krennic. He's like, look, a miracle.
A fucking miracle.
Lyra back from the dead.
And
this close.
he kills her. She wings him, and Jyn Erso, the baby, runs off to hide in this pretty badass hideaway cave thing.
Yeah.
It's like a rock. The top of it is a rock. It's
Uh-huh.
straight
Yeah.
up just like a.
And it's like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hatch.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was just about to make a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle reference.
Me too.
So I'm really glad that I'm not the only one that thought
It's
of it
just
that way.
Jenner down there. Sorry, pizza man. 30 minutes or less, or it's free.
Sorry, Generoso, you're late. You're gonna die.
Well, that was why she didn't like panic when the hatch was initially open because
She thought it was
pizza.
the
Yeah.
Domino's of Star Wars. Sabox. I mean,
He's
we
like,
already
"I'm
have Pizza the Hut. We can't make that.
I've been here for all day. It's a Domino's pizza.
Hey, speaking of Pizza the Hut, I think we get a Spaceballs reference later in this movie.
Okay.
The whole planet. We'll get there.
All right.
Scarif is basically the planet, right?
Oh yes,
From
Scarif
Spaceballs?
is the oxygen
Yeah.
shield. Yeah.
Perrier.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So Saw
I was trying to
Gerrera,
think. I was like, when does somebody turn their ship into a maid? What reference is he talking about?
Saw Gerrera shows up, Forrest Whitaker to save her. My child,
I'm here
come.
to save you. Get in
His-
the car.
His voice is so weird, but also everything he delivers is so fucking powerful
Uh huh.
with that weird voice.
So
It's
he's
Forrest Whitaker. It's a
Yeah.
he's
it's-
technically the first, besides a really shitty cameo. I'm not going to mention because it's a split second. He's the first character to jump from a cartoon / TV show to the big screen live action.
The other one is some trash man or something.
It was a T series robot, and it was like literally a blink and you miss it.
There are a bunch of references to the cartoons, though. Someone says in the background, and I wouldn't have got it without the subtitles.
Syndulla?
Yeah, they talk about
when
Yeah.
the ghost is one of the ships. It's like when they're in the final battle.
Yeah, the
like
ghost is
ghost
there
is
for the
flying
Battle of Scarif.
around, Yeah.
I know her name. I don't know the ship, so I didn't see
Okay.
it. But
Yeah,
I
definitely.
saw her name
When
on
I
the-
saw this, because I was already into all that at that point, I was like, "Holy shit!" I love me some Hera Syndulla.
Then we cut to we see Jen in prison. That we'll get to that. We cut to the Ring of Kafrene, which is pretty cool.
So much about this movie like calls back to A New Hope. Like so much about it, like in the way they filmed it, the way they like, did the backgrounds and the costumes, and even the like
Well,
physical effects.
They
like,
were
so much of it
reusing
does.
costumes from the original trilogy.
Why wouldn't
And
you?
A lot of real
And
sets.
footage.
Ring of
A lot of real sets.
Kafrene, or this like asteroid based. It's this totally original idea that has so much like of the original Star Wars spirit to it, with all these crazy creatures, and they're in this marketplace, and like this feels like this is the first point to me where I was like, dude, this feels like old Star Wars.
This is why it shut Star Wars fans up.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I was
like,
like,
everybody
dude, this
wanted to
just
give-
feels like Star
I
Wars.
was critical of this being announced because I was like, it's characters that I know can't make it. Why am I going to give a shit? This is the Suicide Squad.
Well, you know
So
what's funny?
I just thought, I thought like, why did you try to give me this? And then at the end, I'm like, shut up. You shut your beautiful
You know what's
mouth.
really funny? I thought they were gonna pull some bullshit and say like, "Oh, these characters were always in the background,"
Uh-huh.
in the trilogy. And there's like the Cassian Andor comic book and the Jyn Erso comic book and the
Yeah.
novel, blah. And then at the end, I did not expect it to be a Suicide Squad.
Which is what makes it so, because
Yeah.
you don't think Disney has the balls.
Right, for sure.
And these guys do.
Also, better Suicide Squad movie than that original one.
Oh, God, yeah.
So much better.
Originally, I think it was Jin and Cassian were supposed to make it.
Right, I did see that.
And then Gareth Edwards, I think, or Tony Gilroy.
I
think
mean,
it was
Disney
Gareth
could
Edwards.
easily bring him back if they wanted to. I just think it would be so
Well,
stupid. You
and
could
then
bring
there
back
was a
Forrest
whole-
Whitaker, too. There's a way. There's always a Star Wars way.
Well, we don't see Forrest Whitaker die per se. I guess we do.
Yeah, we do.
kind of see.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
That's a fridge too far. You can't do that.
I mean, we're getting there, but spoiler alert.
I mean, he's mostly
Yeah,
a
we do.
robot. Come
Well,
on.
if you say bring him back like in prequels, but like
Sure, but I'm just saying, like, because somebody asked, what's her name, Felicity Jones. Somebody asked her about it, and you're like, "Well, your character died," and she's like, "Well, you never know." I was like, "Don't do it."
she's like, "Can you pay me again?" That's
Don't-
what she said.
exactly.
She's like, I'm really
I
looking
feel
forward to
like-
working because the only other thing I've done is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
So
Which is
you
why I didn't
watch
see it, so.
so many things. Like there's so many like characters and like people that like make the sacrifice. We'll refer to like that, and so we don't get like flagged or whatever about saying die, die, die. But
and
like,
then he said it.
but
I'm
like,
not saying jihad, but
I'm not saying it, but jihad. No, it's,
We just can't curse that
feel
much. So
Like
instead of F word, like you say,
all
fuck,
these
fuck, fuck.
characters make this like ultimate sacrifice. Like you're seeing like you're really seeing like all these like people that have like basically built themselves up to like this is the cause was more important than
Yeah.
like myself,
They give hope, and rebellions are
it's
built
just-
on
it's
hope.
drilled into you through the entire movie. Like, damn, no one really is getting out of this.
The
Like,
rebellion is built on individuality
and
and individual strength.
Speaking of people giving themselves up for the cause and whatnot, Cassian is talking so much shit to Jin. He's like, you just don't believe in the cause. And I'm like, I just watched season 1 of Andor, homie.
Which means we have 4 years for him to get from I don't know shit about the cause to hey, fuck you.
But even so, like he says some shit that at first I thought doesn't really jibe with Andor, but then I realized, oh, he's also just kind of a liar.
Yeah.
Because what did he say? Oh, I've been in this fight since I was 9 years old, and you're like, no, you're or 6 years old. I was like, no, you weren't.
Because
bitch.
he was fighting the Empire on whatever.
Yeah, because
planet
whatever
that was.
the flashback scene.
Stellan
That
Skarsgård.
did touch me this today when I rewatched it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's not true.
Stellan Skarsgård
I
was
was like,
like,
hang on.
yeah, he was trying to be all big, and he's like, we knew you were a fucking like chef in the army or something like that.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So I was like,
I was
okay.
at that battle. He's like, yeah, you were a fucking cook.
Right. So there was only you were.
Give me some bacon.
He could have been Steven Seagal though. From,
Go ask the captain.
My
pies,
Maybe
meringues,
it's the call.
Get my pies out of the oven.
pies for the reception.
What's that fucking movie called? Sorry, I'm old and I've been drinking. What's that fucking movie
Under
called?
Siege.
Under Siege. Under Siege.
It took me a second on that one, but pies for the reception.
Sorry, Brandon. What was going on here?
I have no idea. I knew I was getting ahead of myself anyway, so I was like, well, maybe I'll wait. But then, yeah.
So we meet Cassie and Andor for the first time
Yeah.
in real life. Diego Luna, and I won't repeat all the credits. Go back, listen to Andor. We talked about it a lot.
Something we talked about on Andor comes true right here, where we talked about how he's just brutal and for the cause. Because this guy, Tevik or something like that.
Who could care?
Yeah, he's a Saw Gerrera guy, dead weight. He's like, well, dude, I'm not going to make it over this wall after they kind of get found out by this. He shoots the stormtroopers without even thinking.
Yeah, they're like,
And
let me
then-
see your documents.
ID or whatever.
Yeah. I got my documents right here, Pilgrim.
Pow pow.
And then this guy's like, dude, now we're going to get fucking found because I can't climb this wall. He's like, calm down. It's okay. Nothing is fucked.
Look at the flowers.
Bam.
Shoot him right in the
Fucking
spine.
lemmied him.
I mean,
Lenny.
this guy kind of needed to go. I mean, he was.
He also
did.
did shoot a disabled man. It's like a guy in a wheelchair comes up to the stairs.
I know.
Like there's no elevator.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
know a snitch when I see one.
That's
This
also true.
guy was a
That's also
fucking
true.
snitch, man.
That's
But
fair.
it speaks to what we talked about with Andor. Like that guy is fucking quick. He is quick with making his choice.
Yep.
To survive.
I will say this thing still holds up, and this what blew me away in Rogue One in the theater when I saw him. Like this motherfucker just killed that dude to save himself. That's
Hey,
awesome.
never
Yeah.
forget Disney
Not
or
to save
sorry,
himself, to save the
That's fair.
cause,
That's
to
fair. That's fair.
forward the cause.
Star Wars is
And
for
himself.
kids. Just remember,
Yeah.
Yep.
it's for
It is.
kids.
Remember, kids, shoot people in the back if they no longer
I
serve
mean,
a
this is
purpose.
If they're a
we're,
To forward the cause.
we're
And
like
if they're
5 minutes
snitches.
into this movie, and he just killed 3 people. It's for kids.
This has nothing to do with recent events whatsoever. By the way, this movie was filmed a long time
He
ago
left
in
a
a galaxy
backpack-
far, far away.
He left a backpack full of fucking fake credits.
And got
Monopoly
caught
credits.
Drinking
Monopoly
blue
credit.
milk and space McDonald's.
Oh god.
In fucking Dexter Jettster's diner.
Dexter Jettster's, yeah.
Somebody dropped the dime on him on Dexter Jettster's
nice
diner.
fucking
He
episode
bumped
2
into
reference.
a guy and his friend, and the
That's
guy
the-
was like,
that's the
"Hey,
only one.
watch it." And-
Named
Terrible.
for George Lucas's son Dexter.
All right.
Yeah.
I hate you sometimes, Jack.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
So we go to Jeddah, which this is I just picking up from what they said because they don't explain everything to you, which is
No.
nice. They give you references. So this is like the home temple of the Jedi.
No, this is Jeddah is something different than like
I know
the-
it's like
the,
a Kyber temple.
The
and
Guardians of the Wills are
Yes.
not Jedi.
No,
it's-
and I actually have a thing about the Guardians.
They
of the
are
Wills.
battle monks.
It was considered like a holy planet where everyone who
Yeah.
like basically believed in the Force could go and worship and
I
like
bet you-
pray or
I bet you there's
Okay.
a
you know,
force
feel the
convergence.
Force or whatever.
There's probably some big force convergence here because they're not all negative. Sometimes a good
And
thing.
obviously, Kyber was abundant there, which made it a source planet or an important
Well,
planet
and
to the Jedi.
Ilium is another planet that's rich in kyber crystals, but the Jedi hid it. So like the Empire does find it, but maybe not yet.
A question
Like-
I had for you nerds. The Kyber crystals are just there on Jeddah, and it seems like everybody knows about it. So is like making a lightsaber like a secret Jedi thing? Why,
Yes.
why doesn't
Yes.
everybody do it? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So
It is a secret. Well, even
Okay.
if it's not secret, using it is so tough. I know we see people use it, but the idea is that us 4 would just fucking dismember ourselves. You know, like
mean,
watch this.
We just talked about it
beer
when
in
we were
each hand.
doing Skeleton Crew.
oh, and Wim
you
lights
see-
it upside down.
Well, there's that one where Wim lights the lightsaber upside down like an idiot, and
Oh,
then
Jude Law.
Jude Law trying to use it. He looks very clumsy.
Yes.
So
Because George, especially in the original trilogy, George was talking about how they're hard to control and they're heavy.
Okay.
It's not until we get better filming techniques that he starts doing the.
They're not heavy anymore. Now you can flip.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden he saw fucking Obi-Wan and Anakin duel, and he's like, "Fuck yeah!" Sorry,
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, guys.
That's the look for me, brother.
But also, I always felt like because it's so heavy, and then you have it just showed how powerful characters like, say, Maul were, for instance.
Sure.
this is
Because
probably
it's-
the nerdiest thing I'll say, but like when you are a Jedi, your kyber crystal sings to you.
Okay.
When you go into the cave.
Okay.
So you might not be able to find a kyber crystal that easy.
And we're gonna reference this in a little bit when we meet a couple of Guardians of the Wills.
Have
we got a podcast for you?
Bad movies, worst people.
I mean, look, you like getting a couple beers in you, watching a bad movie, and yucking it up with your friends. That's what we're doing. We have microphones.
We have great impersonations. We have bad impersonations.
I think it might be one of the best podcasts I've ever heard.
That's the best podcast I've ever heard, fellas. And I ain't lying through my giant teeth.
There's a sample.
Yes.
You can find us anywhere. Badmoviesworstpeople.com. Come check us out.
If you don't follow us, we will follow you home.
But the Guardians of the Wills, real quick, I just want to say, apparently it's taken from the original working title of the first movie.
Yes.
It was The Star Wars, from the Journal of the Wills. And the Wills were wise beings who narrated the Star Wars saga to their pupils. That's why it's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But then they decided they didn't need the flashback format. And apparently fans have pretty much decided that Yoda's species is probably the Wills.
Yeah.
I was
but
actually
it's never
gonna
been.
bring this up at some point, like if you guys like are on this boat or not, because I've always like heard this where people are like, it's gonna eventually come out that the Wills are like.
I think,
who
well,
Grogu
that's one of
and
the things,
Yoda
and it
are.
doesn't matter.
I
'cause
don't
he's
think
not
they'll ever
part of it,
tackle
but-
it. I think
Kinda
George
hope they
Lucas.
don't.
George Lucas always said it's the one thing you couldn't write about if you were doing his books and comics. You could never explore Yoda's. You could write about Yoda. You could not write about his race or his planet or his backstory.
And I
It
mean,
was
he
always
doesn't
supposed
have
be
anything to do
the-
with it anymore, but they still haven't done that. So,
Right. But now we have Grogu.
yeah.
And we have
And-
Yaddle.
And Yaddle. Yeah, we had Yaddle. She died.
Well,
in,
sure, had.
was it Tales of the Jedi? Yeah, killed by Dooku. Fucking Nazi
Yaddle
scum.
skedaddled.
But anyway, I just think Disney will probably ride that same mystery out.
That would be cool because I don't. I mean, it'd be fun to
Whatever
know,
you
but
make up
also
is
I don't
better.
need to know.
I think that the Force creates maybe like the kind of like the Wills. The Force creates X amount of Yoda Yaddles when it's needed to try and balance out the Force.
Oh, they're called yodels.
The Yodels. Sorry,
my thing is
that's
like,
the one thing we do know because we
I mean,
made it up.
What we know is that the Wills were essentially, technically, what they were is it was a failed, like, way to deliver plot points.
Yeah.
It was just going to be like, hey, like, the movie was essentially going to be like, hey, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, let me tell you the story.
But we get
and
R2 and
then
C-3PO instead, and I love
came
it.
to figure out that he didn't need that to tell the story.
I'm gonna borrow from something else.
What was it called? Like the Secret Fortress?
It's
Hidden
called Fortress.
Hidden
it's called,
Fortress.
It's called Dune because when you see that movie, you're like, oh, desert planet, spice.
But the
Well,
two,
Dune-
the
Dune
two,
for
the
sure.
two goofy characters that you kind of see the story through their eyes. That's straight from the Hidden Fortress,
Oh, sure.
which is
Yeah, the
Akira
two
Kurosawa.
fools.
Yeah,
No, I mean, look, hey, look, I love a lot of Star Wars, but my thing is like, I dislike more Star Wars than I like, and part of it is you don't need to explain every fucking thing. We don't need a backstory on every fucking thing. I'm talking about like the expanded universe. Everything has a comic book. Everything has an origin. There's this.
But
Star
I
Wars
guess my point,
Encyclopedia.
my defense of that is you don't have to read it. They don't. It's
Sure,
ancillary
sure,
for people like me. It's like, well,
That's
I need
fair.
to know how the repulsor lifts work.
there's a Chilton's manual about repulsor lifts, and I need to study it.
Look, if your Millennium Falcon ever breaks down, I will be able to fix it. So I like you can laugh all you want, but when you motherfuckers are stranded on an asteroid that ends up being a worm's like inside a worm's mouth, you're gonna wish you fucking knew, man.
As a kid, I used to beg my mother for this book that they had it.
It was
I
called
don't
the
even remember
Bible.
some bookstore. But it was a Star Wars like
Star Wars Encyclopedia.
oh my god,
The
it was,
visual
like,
dictionary?
everything- Yeah, man, it was like insane.
I had that
it was
actually,
the
yeah.
size
Yeah.
of like a.
Oh, you had that one?
No, yeah. Here's again. I'm not a Star Wars hater or
No, no,
anything.
no,
by
I'm
that
just-
means,
I'm like-
you know,
I'm like-
I
read-
wanted
jealous.
it so.
I read-
it's
Yeah, I
one
wish
that
I had
like
mine.
Star Wars like nuts, and I knew all this
Oh,
shit. that
sorry,
all
broke
my
boy.
friends at school were like,
did have-
"That's not what happens in the movie." I'm like, "But in the book, this giant dictionary."
It's kind of a good thing that Disney wiped all those legends out. This podcast's gonna go forever because we
Yeah,
had-
it's fine. So we meet two tubes.
Uh-huh.
again, played by Aiden Cook, the same guy that was playing him in Andor and any other places he's pretty much showed
And as
up.
Classy brought up, calling him Two Tubes is like calling a guy in a wheelchair Wheels.
Wheels, yes.
Because this is a breathing apparatus that his race needs to breathe fucking oxygen. And everyone's like, "What's up, Tubes? Hey, Tubes, you piece of shit."
Hey, Tubesy.
And his fucking egg mate, which is his brother there, same nickname.
Well, there's two of them. They're two tubes.
Two Tubes.
Hey, feeding tube.
I think we're showing
Wearing a
that
tutu.
this area of the rebellion is a little bit like rough and tumble.
This
a
is
little
not
more
rebellion.
Like street-like.
This is not rebellion.
This is like separatists or not.
Right.
That's a different group.
Partisan.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm like. Well, when they make a reference later in the movie, like the rebellion or the whatever you call yourselves now,
Partisans.
because they're like almost
Partisans.
like
Rebels.
God, they're like
The Taliban.
anarchists. Like
They, I mean, okay,
yeah.
we're gonna breeze along eventually, I'm sure.
We'll get there.
This is a very hurt person. Saul Guerrero lost his sister during the Clone Wars to the Separatists and just went buck wild.
Well, he's also hurt physically because he has no legs.
Then the Empire, he's got legs, they just don't have feet.
They're both robot legs.
He's a little- he's
Saw
fucking little-
Guerrero, you got no legs.
He basically
Saul
has
Guerrero,
like
you
a
got
head
magic
and
legs.
lungs. It's like a head and lungs. That's like.
But no, I want to make a
he's
point though.
RoboCop in a way.
I want to make a point though, like the rebellion, the actual rebellion is built on politicians and leaders that have had it up to here with the Empire, and they're trying to go about it a good way. Saul Guerrero just wants to hurt. He's a fucking what's it, Che Guevara fucking kind of guy.
Yeah.
Sure,
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I'm trying to hurt and just exploit, and I might accidentally kill some people. Some collateral damage might happen. I don't fucking care.
Jack or whoever saw the cartoon. Was Saw Gerrera? Yeah, was Saw Gerrera that same kind of character in the cartoon before this?
Not at first. He was fun loving and
Okay,
kind of. He was
okay,
whole.
Okay.
He was
So
whole.
I'm wondering. Well, no, I mean like that. What you said, the Che Guevara, like
Yeah.
let's just hurt whoever we can, however the fuck we can, because they build that up in Andor as well. And in this movie, was that a thing before, or was it kind of expanded from?
I think it's expanded from this.
Okay,
Like, yeah,
okay.
because it just he's such a different person, and then whoever's doing these has source material because they did Saw Gerrera's evolution well. He becomes not the rebellion, but he becomes the good guy's Vader. That's that suit. That's why he's got the breathing
Okay,
apparatus. That's why
alright.
he can't give up. He doesn't have the Force or anything, but like Saw Gerrera is the good guy Vader to a degree.
And he has his number 2 orthopedic shoe because his leg is shorter than the other.
He's almost
Little
like
fucking
blinded
think
by
tank,
his
man.
cause to the point where nothing else matters except the
But
cause.
his cause has hurt the Empire. I don't think he
Yeah.
even believes he can defeat him.
Yeah.
You know,
Because he
He's
even
gonna
says
fuck
later,
shit up on the way out.
Yeah,
Which
I'm
is
going
cool.
down swinging, motherfucker.
Absolutely.
Which,
later
hey,
to Jin, he's trying to give her, like, you don't care about the cause and this and that. And I'm like, you don't really care either.
he cares about
You
the
just wanna-
cause, but
he's like, you don't want to see flags flying, Empire flags all over the galaxy, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, you just want to blow them up. That doesn't actually make them go away.
I just think
Right.
he's so lost and hurt. He's like, I don't know what else to do, so I'm gonna make it hurt on the way out.
It turns out if you crash a speeder into the towers on Coruscant, it doesn't actually take out the Empire.
as someone that kind of like, you know what, you got to start somewhere, man.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
But he's just too crazy to play along with anybody else, so it's always just going to be this little separate cell.
See, and that's
instead
that's
of
a
the
big
bigger
part of it.
picture.
His-
So, like you just
we
said-
hear, we hear
Yeah.
Mon Mothma say that later.
Yeah,
She's
like you
well,
said,
not
just said
him.
he doesn't care about the cause that much.
Yeah.
So
Well, not to get this podcast censored and taken off of iTunes or anything, but it's
Uh-oh.
like it's like maybe there's like a terrorist attack in the U.S. and there's like a bunch of innocent people just like hanging out. The New Orleans terrorist attack just happened,
yeah,
but then there's like people. If you really want to take a strike against the American Empire, there's people that are better targets. And I should stop talking.
you gotta go. You gotta go higher level.
Yeah. You gotta take it.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for. I was just setting it up for that. Yeah.
Good segue.
So we also meet Bodhi, who is played by Riz Ahmed.
Bodhi Rook.
Um,
Love this guy.
I know him from Nightcrawler and Sound of Metal. He's a good fucking actor.
Plays this part great.
Bodhi Rook in the movie. His full name is Bodhi
Yeah.
Rook,
Bodhi Rook,
which
Bodhi
is
Rook,
one of the dopest Star Wars names
a
ever
great
created.
name.
And he's basically defecting from the Empire, and he has information for Saw Gerrera, so they decide to torture him instead of believing him.
And I love how he's the Two Tubes guy's like, look, we found this when we captured him. He's like, I can hear you. You didn't capture me, and I gave it to you. I turned myself in. You didn't find it. Also, I speak
came
your
to
fucking
you and
stupid
gave
language.
you this. Nope, we captured you and took it.
You didn't know I spoke that language, did you?
He's trying to score points
lying
on the
to
boss.
you.
Yeah.
His character, because his name is Bodhi Rook, I was thinking about this because, like, when you think of chess, because
Yeah.
chess is definitely referenced in Star Wars and all this.
Oh yeah.
I feel like because the Rook is a piece, it's not like, oh man, like you have to have it, but it can absolutely
Oh.
change the fucking game if you do.
I
have your
assumed there
rooks
was
in
some kind of
chess.
reference there. I don't know enough about chess.
was gonna say, I
it's
can't confirm or deny this theory.
literally, like it could be great for defending your.
Well,
Or-
unlike K2SO, I am not a strategic specialist.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I'm over here like, is the Rook the castle?
I'm
one?
sorry, I stopped too
No, no, no.
far into it.
No, here's the thing.
look, the castle can go this way.
Look, I'm a confident brown stud with like panties getting thrown at me all the time. But I was in the chess club in school, so like I wasn't this guy all the time. So I'm with you, man. I heard that, I was like, yes, keep going, bro, keep going. Yes! Fuck yeah.
But when
I remember
Saw-
that kid.
when Saw Gerrera comes in to interrogate him, that's when we get lies, deception. He only speaks in like single syllables.
Because he can't. He's got the
He
oxygen
can't
mask.
breathe. He can't fucking breathe. You're the same thing. You're
I
making
guess
fun of the guy's
deception.
disability. Jesus.
Hey, listen here, breather.
What?
What the fuck
I
did
don't,
you
I
just
don't think it counts as a disability when it happened because you had like a failed bombing.
He's kind of scary as
Are you
fuck
telling
in
me we
this
don't have
scene.
disabled
I'm not gonna
vets?
lie.
He is, yeah.
Like,
I
he's
rest
very
my
intimidating
case.
in this
He's
scene.
he's bringing the
is.
Forrest Whitaker.
He is. He's good. It just makes me laugh that he's always just like, yes, I'm pretty high right now.
Today of all
And he
days.
is. Brandon just made the sound. He's walking around sucking on this oxygen mask, and all I could think of was Dennis Hopper in Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Like, I just
slutty. Oh, I'm slutty.
Someone wants to fuck.
Partisan wants to fuck.
PBR.
Does he have a wiener under the because the robot legs? What's going on between
I'm
the chest?
betting
and
you that
the-
he's got cock and balls.
Okay.
At least one ball. I think he's lopped off. The reason those what do you call them? Robot feet are different shapes and sizes because they're different
Orthopedic
parts
shoes
of it.
that you're
Or
making
his
fun of.
orthos. Like one's out lobbed off at the knee and one's at the shin.
Okay. So he's
This
still,
man is so committed to his cause, he has no dick.
I was-
I'm sorry.
I was
There's
thinking-
no dick getting
It's
in
true.
the way
This
there.
man has no
There-
dick.
No,
I
there's
was
nothing getting
thinking
in the
they're
way.
different because it's just like he lost a leg in X battle, so they had this droid laying around. They used that leg, and
That's
then he
probably
lost a
much
leg in
more
this
likely.
battle, and so they're just using whatever's fucking laying around.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I
Or it's
feel
not laying around. That droid was like, "How can I help, sir?" And
I don't
he's
have
like,
time to
I have
bleed."
an idea.
I don't have time to bleed. You got time to duck. This shit turns into a sexual Tyrannofucking-saurus. Not like you slack-jawed fuckers.
In my head, I'm seeing like a 3PO type character, like, "How can I help, sir?" And he's like, "I have an idea." And then they cut to, and it's just this guy on one leg, like, "Oh bother."
turn around. Where's your power button?
Surgeon Rocket Raccoon over there. And I need that guy's leg.
I need that guy's leg.
Oh, bother.
And he does. They send him to the Boar Gullet, which is this terrifying squid monster
Yeah.
that can feel your thoughts. And so no lies are safe. No lies
There
are
you go.
safe.
There you go.
Some people got interrogated, and the Borgel was like, some guy was like, I wonder what it would feel like get jerked off by one of the squid arms, and he was like, oh, fuck, come on.
Oh man, my dick went crazy.
He knows your thoughts. What kind of porn you watched last night?
I was a little disappointed they didn't fully follow through with this because he's like, the unfortunate side effect is that one tends to lose one's mind.
I think we start to see it though.
We do.
Well, we see him when they first find him in the cell, and he's a little like rattled.
yeah.
But then later on, he's just kind of like normal.
I think it's because they know exactly what to say to him that kind of brings him. For instance, I mean, there are certain people that have taken psychotropic drugs at points in their life.
I'm not looking at
or,
anybody in
you
this
know,
room.
And things that like
Not
you're
today.
really on like a different plane of thinking where you're like halfway through, like, yeah, this makes sense and I know what's going on, and halfway in this like weird spectrum of what the fuck
Okay.
is going
Oh, like
on.
heroin
I just
Bob.
thought of something.
And
from
someone
what-
comes up to you and says exactly what you need to hear to snap you back into reality to go,
Oh, heroin
shit,
Bob never got snapped back
I
into
am
reality.
sitting
No, he
in
got
a-
snatched from reality. Okay, but I want to go off of what you just said. Different. This guy microdoses Borgullet at home. You have no idea that he has a fucking tolerance. I'm going to give him so many Borgullets. He's going to flip out.
That just means he's getting.
I take Borgullet at home all the time,
He's
motherfucker.
getting jerked off by squid arms. That's what that means. That's
Yeah.
what microdosing Borgullets means.
Fucking Bodie's over there like, can I have a hero dose of Borgullet?
He was
Go
told to
cry to
listen
King
to what
Kong.
was in his heart, so maybe he did have a little baby Borgullet that, you know, told him.
No, I think the truth is though, they snap him back because it's his mission is more important. He says at one point in this movie that I can't remember where, Galen Erso said that if I do the exact, like I can write this, I can be forgiven for all my transgressions as a galactic fucking
As
shill.
long as I
if I
follow
do-
what's in my heart.
Yeah, yada yada yada. So I think as soon as they mention like, because they say Galen Erso, and he's like, yeah, I'm the pilot. I'm the pilot. I'm the pilot.
Underlying message of this entire movie is
Trust no one.
The
Oh, sorry.
sacrifice for the greater good.
The greater
is,
good.
is the key here.
Crusty
like,
jugglers.
you know.
Crusty jugglers.
But
Great
no
big
one in
bushy
this has a
beard.
great big bushy beard. So
There is a guy with a great big bushy beard
is there?
at the very end.
No, he's
He's
not a
one of
real
the guy-
character though, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll say I agree with what you're saying. The reason I kind of didn't like this movie as much as last time is I get what they're going for. I just don't think they did well. I 100% I'm
Okay.
on board. That's what they did, but it seems kind of like, oh, he's crazy. No, he's not anymore. And let's move on to the next scene.
I
It's
think
just like
I think this movie is one of those things I've discussed before, especially on Bad Movies Worst People, where it's like throughout the movie you're picking out things where you're like, I don't know about this, I don't know about that, but then the last scene is so fucking cool that you're
Sure.
just like, that movie rocked.
I mean, I have a fun time this entire movie, and yes, there are things that you kind of have to put on hold, belief-wise. But at the end of the day, it's a fucking beautiful
If
movie with
you're
a
a
banging
Star Wars
soundtrack.
fans, you do this already with the original movies. You literally do this with the original movies already. So, you know what? Do what everyone has done throughout the years. Make up your own fucking lore and
Well,
put it
whoa, whoa.
online.
I can't sanction this buffoonery.
I have to go to r/Star Wars and they tell me what to think.
Oh,
Yes.
Jesus. We're not even going to get started on this.
Do you even,
But,
do you even read it, bro?
oh,
I know you do.
Do you even 4chan, bro? But so speaking of 4chan, we go
r/ bigger than you thought.
speaking of 4chan, we go to the Wabani prison planet, and that's where we have Jen Erso, who is being transported to somewhere. Like I said, Felicity Jones. The only thing I know her from is Amazing Spider-Man 2, where she plays Felicia.
That photo
stretch.
shoot of her in a
Bye,
bikini is
Felicia.
bonkers. If you haven't seen her in the photo, like the bikini shoot, oh my
I have not
God.
actually. Wait, hold on, let me get my phone.
We're not here to objectify women, but
We're
she
not,
is
but-
pretty smoking hot. So
I need to take a break. Keep talking.
I'm not objectifying her. I'm
Classy will
talking
be
about
back
how
in 2 to
great this
15 minutes.
This picture that she did is awesome.
So there's a prison break. They come in looking for her,
I know what you look at.
and I just love that they. I love that they like break her out, and she immediately just fights them, and she's like, "Fuck this!"
Yeah,
Goes
she's
running-
survival mode. She's been on her own.
Yeah, and we have K2SO who just like grabs her, and he's like, "You're being rescued. You're welcome."
Bam.
the introduction of the amazing Alan Tudyk.
This is one of
Yes.
my top 5 droids.
This guy
Oh,
rocks.
he's top 2 for me.
I love K2.
I read.
too.
I don't. There was no
Yeah.
specifics, but I read that Alan Tudyk was basically improvising a lot of his shit, which
Yes.
makes sense
Really?
because K2SO is one of the funniest droids that's existed because it's all just dry, like one-liner shit.
Dude, actually, when Brandon and I were texting about him coming over, we both dropped one. Hold on. Our back and forth was just direct quotes
it was
from
literally
K2SO.
K2SO, yeah.
And it was pretty great. It was well, he finished with or it started with, "I'm going to come over, yada yada. May the force be with you, and may the force of others be with you." And I said, "I find that answer vague and unconvincing." Well, I'll be there for you. Cassian said I had to.
Dude, that shit. Whitney came home while I was watching the movie, and she walks in and hears me laughing. And I don't think that's what she expected, and it was that point.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'll be there because Cassian said I have to.
So-
He has like and
I'll
the
be there
scene
with
where
you.
he comes and rescues them at the end of like the whole like initial battle on Jeddah. Like, yeah, I'll wait in the shit.
I
God,
guess I
he's
should
so
wait in the
good.
ship.
You're right.
Like,
He's got the grenade. He catches the grenade. He's like, "You're right." Throws it over him.
but
I
he
should
said
go
it was
back and
the
wait.
most fun role he's ever played because he wore a mocap suit for the whole thing. He actually like you're not just watching CGI, you're watching Alec Tudyk actually.
Yeah, he's
perform
on
it.
like 13 foot
Derek's
stilts.
And
or
he said he was
something.
because he was on
Point.
stilts the whole time, and he's like it was like the funnest thing that he's ever done.
I actually didn't know that was the case. I thought he was just doing the voice.
So even when he's not there on stilts, we watched a quick one where he's in full mocap and there's a stand that goes above his head with K2SO's head on it.
Oh,
so
yeah,
at
yeah,
least
yeah.
everyone knew where to look.
He took special acting classes where you learn how to like where basically you wear a mask that covers your whole face. So you just learn how to move with your body to express like emotion.
It's called the School of Doug Jones.
Yeah, he just hung out at Doug Jones' house for a weekend and got fucked up.
And just, can I get you another
Can you
Borgullet?
imagine the drugs that Doug Jones has sitting around?
He sniffs Borgullet.
Andy Serkis is like, "Can I come?" He's like, "No, man."
No, you're too expressive in your
Yeah,
face, sir.
It's like hot reeling meth, and I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. No, thank you.
But I just want to point out Derek's correct funniest droid.
Yeah.
Was this like one of his first voice roles? Because now he's a big voice role actor.
He
in,
does.
like,
He does. I don't know if
Commandos.
this one was first. He
Harley.
does so much voice. Yeah, he did almost every episode of Harley Quinn as 10,000 different characters. He does all voice acting now.
I feel like he's one of the just right before COVID was like, oh, I got paid pretty good for voice acting. Maybe I'll set up a studio in my house and
that's
just start
true.
knocking them out.
I can get paid in my pajamas.
Why
That's-
not, dude? If
he's-
anybody out there wants to hire me for voice work,
If I didn't have a
I work
disgusting fat pig
real
voice, I
cheap.
would absolutely do that too.
we
Oh,
see
everyone's
him.
got a great voice.
Sometimes they need a fat pig voice,
yeah.
especially if you're voicing a fat pig.
You just have to find a voice. A voice.
I'm
that
America
you can
Peppa Pig.
express.
I'm the American
What
version
you
of
do
Peppa
is
Pig.
was
get a
hoping
really
to see-
good Will Arnett impersonation, and then take all his roles from under him because he just does Will Arnett.
That's
he just
true.
does
See,
his
there
own
you go.
voice.
Yeah.
But you could do it for cheaper. Do
But
it for
also,
half.
that's also John Benjamin, and I mean, good
Yeah.
luck finding being that voice.
yeah.
So
But Alan Tudyk, for those who don't know, you can see the real human, not the voice, in Doom Patrol,
he is such a good, important character in Doom Patrol.
Firefly, and Serenity. Whitney reminded me, and I have to say, he has a show called Resident Alien, which she said the name of wrong, but I got it.
And Con Man is good too.
What did she say?
He-
Alien Resident.
His
Oh,
little
okay.
like Con Man like project that was fun.
He's also probably nobody else watched it, but there was a series made of Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency, which is the other books that Douglas Adams wrote,
Oh, Adams.
the guy that wrote Hitchhiker's Guide. They made a series out of those with Elijah Wood.
My introduction to Alan Tudyk, because I didn't get into Firefly till later in life, is 28 Days with Sandra Bullock.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, look at my package.
Excuse me, we're forgetting probably his greatest role, which is Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball.
I thought you were going to
Arr.
say an
that's right.
iRobot
No,
because he plays the titular robot.
You got any more beer in there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cold in between my legs.
But yes, you are being rescued. Oh, I guess I don't. I lied.
We just killed a keg on this podcast, y'all.
Now we got to kill a stocking full of Fireball. God bless.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I've
God-
got more beers.
God fucked us, everyone.
No, I'm the fireball guy on this
There's
podcast.
like, oh God, please stop.
Every
That's what was in
podcast.
the trash compactor room in episode
Yeah.
4. It's all
With
the
the
fireball stockings they didn't sell. Oh no, the screams! They're dying!
We discounted them to $9 and still no one bought
They're
them.
drowning in
I think people
fireball.
deserve to know that we literally cracked open a Fireball stocking and ate through a part of Derek's tile.
For the
before we
audience,
started
He's
the
up on the
podcast.
Wii. This side of the table didn't have anything to do with that shenanigans.
I am the fireball fanatic. I don't give a fuck. And there was like it's like what month is it? January? I don't even know. But there was like discounted fireball stocking, and it was like $9 at the grocery store. And I brought it to this podcast, and I bring it every time, and everybody's like, "We hate you. Get out of our fucking faces with that disgusting garbage."
Hey, I'm just happy you're happy.
I am very happy.
I mean, it's my birthday. I'll probably have a shot before I go to.
Oh yeah, happy
so-
birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. And also somebody get a shot glass right now.
But so we go to Yavin 4, and there's a rebel interrogation of Jenner. So they talk about how she's going under the name Liana Halleck, but they're like, is that right, Jin?
Oh yeah, yeah. Lena Halleck. You look like a Lena. Hey Lena, look. You didn't look when I said your name.
when I say hello, Mrs. Halleck, and I stomp on your foot.
I mean, and then they bring out Jimmy Smits in his NYPD
Yeah.
blue,
And Genevieve
Oh.
O'Reilly, right? Is that right?
Genevieve O'Reilly, yeah.
O'Reilly.
Yo,
which
Jen-
is
Mon
one of the
Mothma?
most
Yeah.
phenomenal comeback, like throwback comeback shit. She looks
Casting.
the
Casting.
same.
Well,
I
and
gotta say,
yeah.
Genevieve O'Reilly, beautiful woman. This haircut is doing her no favors.
Well,
This
I-
haircut
it's
has never
the-
done anybody a favor.
yeah,
It's the Return of the Jedi haircut.
yeah.
So,
They
you know.
should- Yeah, her haircut
They didn't know a
in
lot
Andor-
in the 80s. I don't know how many 80 movies you've watched, but hair was not their forte.
No, God no.
Genevieve O'Reilly and Andor. Whoo, look out below.
Oh,
That's all I'm
yeah.
saying.
There's no haircut, only Zool.
Yeah, her and Andor is something else, man. Because I never found Mon Mothma that sexy, and then all of a sudden I couldn't stop.
100%.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
I told you we won't stop. I told you we won't stop.
I love this whole room though. Like it's we're gushing about it, but it's just such original trilogy shit.
Sure.
You know, it's the rock face of the wall with these computer screens, if you want to even call them that. You
And
know?
apparently they went back to the same location where like the exteriors for that were filmed. And that was filmed on like a soundstage in England, of course, because everything in the original trilogy was. But they went back to that location and they built the Rebel base there.
Okay.
So all this is actually filmed at the place where they filmed the
I
original
believe
Rebel
it's
base.
the
on Yavin
Masasi
4.
Temple on Yavin 4, the fourth moon of Yavin.
Oh, I thought you were about to give me like a real place.
No, God, no.
I believe it's
like fucking London.
the
fucking-
Gleep Glop on Gloopy
Dude, I'm
Glorp.
telling you, I can't afford to travel, but I could buy a Star Wars book.
But yeah, so basically, like, if you don't help us entrap your dad, although she doesn't know that, then we're just gonna put you back where we found you. So they send her off to
That's
Saw
a
Gerrera.
reverse breakout. All right, hold on. Blow the door. Put her back in there. Handcuffs on. Get out. Put the door back on.
Unblow it up.
I'm blowing up.
Oh my God, guys! I don't think we're gonna get fired. We got the prisoner back.
Oh, thank God she's back in her. Don't ask how, but Jen Urso is back in her bunk.
Nobody talk about this.
But on their way out, this general guy tells
Is it Dodonna?
Andor. That sounds right.
Dodonna's with a big white beard. Great big bushy
No.
beard.
No, Draven.
Okay.
Draven, played by a guy
Eric
named
Draven from The Crow. Yeah.
played by a guy named Alistair Petrie. So that's a bad guy's name.
Uh-huh.
But he's
Oh, I think he's in the Foundation.
is he?
Wait,
Sounds
is he
like
the
it.
mustache?
He's the one. He's
No,
the one
no,
that
that's
tells,
somebody else.
He tells Andor right now to kill.
Yes, that's
He's like,
somebody
if you
else. I'm
find
thinking of.
Galen, kill him because he's working for the
He's a
Empire.
ginger.
Forget what
I don't
you-
understand how you don't didn't pick this guy out as one of your people.
We're self-loathing people, and usually gingers in Star
Understood.
Wars, not great.
This is so fucking stupid that you got to kill Mads Mikkelsen because he's working for them. He designed like a planet-killing super weapon. Do you think he's the only one that can turn it the fuck on?
Yeah.
This is one thing I didn't
Well,
like. I'm
maybe
like,
they're
that
maybe they're
doesn't-
worried about what else he can make.
This
Yeah.
is sort of
Because his whole-
explained, sort of explained a little bit. It's
They
like
also don't
kinda
know
sort
yet
of
that it's
explained.
active.
True.
No one can start this Death Star but me.
He
Go ahead.
literally made.
I didn't show
them
you where the on
think-
button was.
Galen Urso basically makes he knows that they're gonna figure out that he's not the only person that can fucking do this shit. Like, but he's just kind of like playing along with like, you're
Sure.
right, you really do need me.
Well,
Let me
I
help
still
because
you
he
do
knows
this
if
shit.
he's there, he can put
And the
in a
whole
weakness.
message,
Yeah.
and the whole message to Jen Urso, when that whole little like hologram, he kind of lays it all out as like, man, this is a sacrifice I made. This is what I did. This is why I did it. And it basically was him like, this is him making his ultimate sacrifice. He doesn't get a life with his daughter. He kind of gives up everything to play stupid and be like, you're right. I'm the only person that can make this like whole weapon occur. And in doing that, while he does that, he makes the smallest, most improbable like way to destroy the
Look, I
thing ever.
definitely put a weakness in the Death Star. All you have to do is shoot this hole. It's 2 meters, no bigger than a womp rat. Someone can do
I
it.
used to fucking target womp rats back home all the time.
Anyone can do it, which by the way, it's attempted and failed at least once in the movie.
No, twice. 2 different squadrons fuck up before Luke uses the
Yeah,
Force.
that's right. It's 2 squadrons. That's right.
But-
well,
Force,
technically
Luke.
3 because we're gonna lose a whole squadron in this movie, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, that's true.
My thing is, I get what they're going for. They're trying to make the rebels seem like morally gray, and seems like, look, this is like some secret shit. You got to kill this guy. Then what you got to do is say, bring him in, torture the fuck out of him.
Oh, you know what
put
you
him in a
do.
black side, pull his fucking fingernails out till he tells you everything about this weapon.
Look, we got
Borgullet
this
up the
crazy.
butt.
We got this crazy helmet from the Imperials that has the tortured screams of alien
yes.
children.
Baby scream.
You have to humanize and give Cassian Andor a way out of. Cause
Right.
we've already watched him shoot a dude in the fucking spine because.
To what a way to go.
By the way, a handicapped dude in the spine.
Shot through the spine.
Just to like forward the cause. So like later on when he's given that decision and he does not make it, that's kind of where he insists on.
Because he
on,
really
like-
wants to have sex with Jen Urso.
sure.
But
Really, what you
I'm
do?
going to argue he doesn't, and I'm going to argue that as we get to the end of this movie.
I'm with you,
and I'm
Brandon,
going to tell you
actually.
because this movie ends perfectly because it doesn't end on a romantic
I like
sexual
They should have
Yeah,
been,
yeah,
they should have
yeah,
been
yeah,
fucking
I
on the
like
beach. Is all I'm
Nah.
saying.
But
We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get. But yeah, no,
You
I
go out
didn't
going
like,
in is all
I
I'm
didn't
saying.
like that the goal was to kill him because you
It
had
should
so
have
much
been
information.
the
Come
goal
on.
should have been to
No.
kidnap him and Operation Paperclip this dude.
Yes,
and use
yes.
Nazi technology against them.
Remember what?
Sorry, Empire.
Mon Mothma said, "We're gonna take him to the Senate to testify." Like a coward.
Well, and they do
Yeah.
say
That's not gonna do
later,
shit.
they're like, the Empire has a super weapon. We don't. You know how you get a super weapon? Operation Paperclip.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I like when they're getting on the ship right afterwards, and he's like, "This is K2SO." He says whatever comes to his mind or his circuits, and he's like, "How come she gets a blaster and I don't? You know she's gonna use it against you, right?"
You know the chances.
So we go to the Death Star. Krennic meets up with a computer man.
Uh huh.
This is so when you had said something, we were recording another episode about Tarkin Town. I was like, the CG Tarkin? You're like,
Yeah.
no, there's actually a Tarkin Town.
Tarkin Town. I think it's on Lothal. This guy was just such a fucking egotistical dude. He's like, just start a new town and name it Tarkin Town.
Otisburg.
Yeah. I'll give you a good Tarkin too if you don't.
If you go down the road, Tinkertown is just down the way, and it's a much different place.
You know his favorite band though is the Tarkin Heads.
Fly in the Death Star without hyperspace. That's a Tarkin.
That's a Tarkin.
And if you,
believe that's a Tarkin.
Ever have a
Starting a
problem, you
colony
start
not naming
talking
after me.
about it, you
That's
know?
a Tarkin.
So he decides to go Psycho Killer, and
Favorite SNL skit was Coffee Tark.
Psycho Killer is actually my favorite Tarking Head song.
Look at that.
and they're gonna test the Death Star on Jeddah. So they go to do that, and Krennic's like, I'm not gonna fail. Nothing could possibly go wrong for me in this movie. You saw me in the rest of them.
The three-wing shuttle that he uses that's pre-Lambda class is his invention.
Okay.
Like he's
cool.
a big muckety muck when it comes to inventing things. So I think the Death Star is like his brainchild.
That's one of the few ships I could name because I did
Yeah.
on one of the episodes. I was like, Lambda shuttle showed up, and Jack was like, "Oh," but
'Cause that's my
then
favorite
I saw it,
fucking
and
shuttle.
I was like, "This ain't one of those."
Yeah, it's the precursor to that.
All right.
He's a big to-do in the Lambda factory.
Yes, he is. His favorite movie, who's Nerds with Lambda, Lambda, Lambda.
We go to
Silence of the Lambdas.
we go to Jen Erso having
Mads
dreams
Mikkelsen.
about her daddy and her mommy and Krennic having like cocktails together, and we find out that her dad called her Stardust, which will be important later.
I don't think it will.
It might.
It might.
You never
Call
know.
her Stardust, I think, in the beginning of the movie too. So
Well, we're still in the
now
beginning.
we're hitting
We're
it-
still in the beginning of the
we're
movie.
hammering it home.
Just so
Yeah,
you
we're
know,
only
like,
we're
we
like
might
10
have-
minutes into this movie. But we're only an hour into this podcast.
Yeah, we've been
Right,
talking
right.
for 6 hours, but we are 5 minutes into the movie.
An hour per movie or per.
So Andor
minutes.
is
Look,
meeting
the
up
third
with
act is going to go real quick. Okay, we're not going to describe the action.
This is so cool.
I am.
Oh, I have it written down in detail right now.
And
So
you forgot
Blue-
to say sexy Mads Mikkelsen when he was younger.
So Blue 7 takes a hard left. No,
Wait, no, it's right. Sorry, my bad.
But so she goes to find Saw Gerrera with them and to find her father. We get to Jeddah and they're mining these Kyber crystals. And just to delay us some more, I have some fun stuff about Kyber crystals. It was originally a George Lucas thing. It came from early drafts of his original scripts,
Uh-huh.
but it was
Where
first
he was ripping
mentioned.
off the Lensman.
I'm sure it was first mentioned in the first novel that came out after Star Wars, Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
I read that.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was a kid. Again, I told you I was a fucking nerd, a lonely, nerdy.
I thought you were
loser.
just being an asshole.
No, no,
I read that.
No, I was. No,
What do
no,
you think you read when you get done with chess club?
Yeah, I was a nerdy fucking loser who.
The Thrawn trilogy.
I read all of the Thrawn trilogy multiple times because I had no friends as a kid.
I just know what a rook does. I'm not that big of a nerd.
I had all kinds of friends as a kid. Lando Calrissian, Han Solo,
Two tubes.
Two Tubes,
Ponda Baba,
not Jar Jar.
who shows up in this movie.
Ponda Baba does
Tony
show up.
2 times, who always said everything 2
Hey, I'm
times.
gonna go get the papers. Get the papers.
But apparently, the Kyber crystals were an artifact that just gave the Jedi's power over the Force.
Yes,
It wasn't for their lightsabers originally, and it was also Kiburr, which is way dumber than Kyber, because then we couldn't
That's
make
Kyber.
jokes about Kyber trucks.
exactly.
Those shitty Kyber trucks that look like shit. on
That
the road.
fucking Cyberpunk video game I'm playing.
Kyber trucks blowing up in Las Vegas left and right.
You know you've made a quality product when you can't tell whether it's blown up on its own, or is a car
Or
bomb?
somebody,
Like
it was a terrorist attack. Yeah,
I like how it was slowly like everyone saw the news at first and was like, "Oh yeah, man, that's crazy," and then it was like, "Wait, that was a terrorist thing? Like,
Wait,
like-
someone did it on purpose?
Yeah, well, wait,
They
on
weren't just
purpose?
driving? On the way in, like I just mentioned, Jin does bump into Dr. Cornelius and Ponda Baba.
Good
Mhm.
cameo.
Yeah.
I didn't
Mhm.
like it. Here's the thing: the fan service cameos, it made me like it less.
This
That's
one I
didn't
really
need
like.
Ponda Baba. I didn't need
I
the
love
Because
it.
it shows
This
like they're
one,
gonna
I
get killed
actually-
sometime by somebody by being these fucking bullies they are.
You have to also remember that this movie and New Hope take place in canon days apart.
Sure.
This is just days apart.
I mean, this is days. The end of this movie is seconds.
No,
before
seconds,
New-
but like, no, I guess at the end,
Yeah,
of it,
it's
it's like a
moments.
week or so. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's true.
Look, I think that we'll get to the horror movie ending thing, and I'm okay with it. But I think I would have liked it more if there wasn't the other fan service bullshit in it.
I don't know. I feel
That's
like
fair.
I'll say this: Tony Gilroy would not have signed off on fucking balls and mouth Ponda Baba and Dr. Evazan.
but it's Dr. Cornelius, isn't it?
It's Cornelius Evans on.
Oh, okay.
I
I just knew Dr.
I told you I
Cornelius.
didn't have
Yeah, I
friends.
know.
was a kid.
He
Come
had
on,
a
man.
last name.
Chess Club for the win.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
I liked the fan service stuff in this movie. Like there's some other stuff that's heavy handed. I felt like these little things were just little nods for people who are just have too much free time.
I don't know.
So I
think it-
recognized it.
but I think
Yeah,
And
I
the scene
recognize
too
it.
is also really good because it's like what we talked about the first area they go to earlier. This is also just like it's like feels like Star Wars. It's like all this like live alien action all around you, all these like characters and all this like it feels like you're in this like there's so much to explore like just in the background and all around you. This feels like an old Star Wars movie.
Agreed. Sorry to go back to guy with balls in mouth for a second, but I want to say, yeah, you said it's
He's a
little-
walrus. He doesn't
it's
have
a-
balls in his mouth.
He's got balls in his fucking mouth.
He's got balls
Is he
for
a
a
walrus?
mouth.
He's a walrus, man.
He's into Quillish.
Not the one with the missing nose that says "Get the fuck away from me" or whatever he says
oh no,
to
he's
her.
a
but-
hunchback.
Yeah.
You're
He's
saying
a
that, like,
Quasimodo.
Yeah, he's Quasimodo man.
you're saying that like it's a little bit of thing like if you're not a super Star Wars fan, but if you just like watch Star Wars a couple times, that shit is like so prevalent in your mind that you recognize that. I probably hadn't seen the original Star Wars, which I do not call A New Hope, by the way. Well, I've not seen the original Star Wars in like, I don't know, 15 years. And in the theater, I was like, I know that fucker. I know those fuckers. I know both
Yeah,
those fuckers.
it's
You
for
don't call it
nerds.
A New Hope?
no, because it
Hope
was
is-
originally called
Hope-
Star Wars.
Hope is
Rebellions
hope
are
is
built
the
on
base
hope.
of all rebellions.
Yeah. You know what? Rogue One should be
Rebellions
called
are
A New
built
Hope.
on hope.
Rogue One is A New Hope is a better name for Rogue One.
Speaking of things we do like,
Yes.
we meet Chirrut Imwe.
Oh boy, do we?
Is that right?
Treat, sure, what?
Do we?
Imwe.
Yeah, that's
Chirrut-
Oh,
It's
Chirrut
an eye with,
Imwe,
it's
yes.
an eye with a little
Do-
arrow over it.
Oh.
And
That sounds
then MWE.
right.
Do we like it? Do we like it?
I love him.
Love
Hold
it.
on, bro.
I love him. I don't care
Okay.
what you think. You're a hater.
Can I drop
why
my
you're here.
knowledge on this character for y'all real
please.
quick?
Go ahead.
So, this character,
I'm gonna rest up.
it was basically laid out that two actors and two actors only were considered for this.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And one is the actor that was chosen,
Danny Wynn.
Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
Racist.
Donnie Yen.
Nope, Donnie Wynn, you going to say it right. Just
Oh.
kidding.
We're
You're
gonna
right,
get
I'm
back
wrong.
to in a second here. But the second is Jet Li.
Okay.
And
You know why they-
Pronounced gently.
You know why they asked Donnie Yen first? You've got that.
he was cheaper.
Yeah. $4 million for Donnie Yen. $10 million for Jet Li.
Oh, yeah, you do that.
So before anyone gets upset about like we could have had Jet Li in a Star Wars movie, how incredible, just know that this character's main character trait was decided on by Donnie Yen. Like he decided that this character was going to be blind because it based it off of an old character trait from popular characters in Japanese samurai,
Zatoichi specifically. Yeah.
which was because
Blind
he
swordsman.
actually did his studies and was like, oh, cool, it's all based off of Western and samurai lore. Let me pull some of that in there. So, would we have gotten a better character with Jet Li? Nah, probably not. So, great casting choice. Glad the cheaper guy won.
Here's my problem. This movie does waste Donnie Yen. This
Does-
movie
it
does
does
not.
waste
Yes,
him.
it does
It
not
does
show off
waste him.
how fucking badass he is.
Disagree.
Just like 3-4 days ago.
It's not a
coincidentally-
Donnie Yen movie.
Coincidence, but
He's got some good
It
fucking
could have been.
scenes, dude.
Yeah, I think
I don't
he's-
think so.
If
I
it
think he's
wasn't for
perfect.
him, the end of this movie would not have happened.
It
They,
doesn't
they would
matter.
have all died.
Donnie Yen, like what he can do, I think he was wasted. I think just 3 or 4 days ago, coincidentally, I watched In the Line of Duty 4 with him and Cynthia Khan. Holy fucking shit!
So this it's not that
Amazing.
movie. This isn't a kung
know.
fu movie. It's not a Danny Yen
That's
movie.
f- that's fair.
He's a phenomenal blind samurai type
it is
character.
it is a kids bop Donnie Yen performance. I was watching by this point I had watched It Man, and I watched this and I was like, well, it's kind of cool, but like,
Well,
that's-
of course, but the Ip Man series is Donnie Yen movies. This
But-
is
But
Donnie
why,
Yen
okay,
is
that's
okay,
there.
it.
okay, but why wouldn't you use that man to his full potential? And it
because
reminded
it's
me,
not his movie.
Watch when they're all getting walked around with sacks on their heads. He's the only one that's not like playing the like tripping around part.
Well, he doesn't because he's already
'cause
blind.
blind. And he's like playing. He plays what he does. He does so well for while he's in it.
that
And, like,
did get me.
do I wish there was a little more like kung fu? But yeah, because
No, it's an
I just want-
ensemble movie.
But I want to watch because I want to watch him. I want to watch him do
Yeah.
what he can
Then
do.
watch all these movies these guys
Yeah.
just talked about. Go watch those.
I'm happy with the amount of Donnie Yen we got in this movie. I'm not happy with what he did, and it
Oh,
reminded
I
me.
am. Oh,
I-
I am.
Just
it
wait for the
remind-
prequel series about Chirrut.
Chirrut, yeah. It reminded me of in Force
Dude, a
Awakens.
Guardians of the Will series would be so fucking dope.
It's just Donnie Yen running around with this fucking machine gun dude,
Him and
kicking the shit out of
Baze.
people.
Baze,
Yeah.
Baze Malbus.
And
Yeah.
that's my problem. Is like, oh yeah, Donnie Yen is shooting a bunch of people. What we love to watch Donnie Yen do.
Donnie Yen
shoot
using a
guns.
fucking weapon that only other people we've ever seen use, if I'm not mistaken, are Wookiees.
Wookiees. So this is, by the way, part of the Guardians of the Willis things. They have to craft their own bowcaster,
Yeah, it's
and
a
it's
fucking
bigger.
bowcaster.
It's a bowcaster staff. It's a bigger one than the Wookiees use.
Yeah, the
It
only
takes
people
down
who
TIE fighters.
the only people who use fucking bowcasters are Wookiees. So
That's
he
cool.
does his coolness.
Oh wait, not true. There's a bounty hunter named Inbo that uses a bowcaster. He's pretty fucking
Is he in
phenomenal.
live action?
No.
Doesn't count yet. All right. I said yet. We haven't gotten there.
I will die on this hill like Donnie Yen died in the first Tiger Cage movie, which wasn't a hill, it was like a bridge, but it doesn't matter. I think he was wasted in this movie. Like it would have been
But
20
he's
times
here.
better. And I'm happy to see. it. and he's funny and he's fun. And the thing where they put the thing on his head and he says, "I'm blind." That was funny, and that killed in the theater. I remember that.
Oh, I got a genuine laugh out of me sitting alone in my house.
Yeah,
He's like, "What are you doing? I'm blind." I was like, "Ha! He is blind." I wasn't laughing at him being blind. I was laughing at them putting a bag on his head.
Hey, no eyes.
I picture you nudging Whitney like that guy we were talking about earlier, the Jar Jar Binks. Like, ah,
funny.
You get it?
funny.
Hey, we got two tubes and we got no eyes. We got orthopedic shoe. This movie's great.
Look at that Stumpy over there. Jack and I went and saw episode 1 in theaters because we're masochists, and
It's the anniversary.
there was a dude there, probably about our age, 40s, just loving Jar Jar.
Oh no!
Every time he's like,
Excuse
Misa
me."
do something stupid. This guy's like,
He's elbowing his son.
and I'm
You hear
glad that
that?
I wasn't there because I would have followed this man to his car after the movie.
Oh, I pledged my loyalty. I actually owe him a life debt now.
But so the rebels come in, or not the rebels, fucking Saw Gerrera's people
Yeah.
attack these stormtroopers, and there's this little weird short dude whose name I don't have. You might.
Pow, P-A-O.
No, that's Pow is the one that works for the
Oh, I
actual
do have this
rebellion.
guy's name.
Yeah, we
Warwick
do
Davis,
because
dude,
we've
it's the
But
decided
such
it's Warwick Davis's
it's
cameo.
such a
someone
funny-
in
are
our
you ready for
friend
this?
group is going to obtain this nickname.
Weetief QB.
Retief Q.
Weetief. So W-E-E-T-E-E-F. Weetief. And then C-Y-U-B-E-E. QB.
Teeth Kubi.
So he's got small teeth.
Hey.
It's just it goes along with Saw Gerrera's whole group. We got two tubes. We got wee teeth. You see that guy's teeth? They're so small. We'll call him wee teeth.
Hey, go get Baby Dick. Tell him it's time for shooting.
I'm Cletus Mickelson. This is my buddy Wheat Teeth QB.
Go get Robocock. You mean Saw? I wouldn't call him
It's
that in
no
person.
different than when you're
Sockcock?
calling your friends off of their basic physical traits and in modern culture, like sleepy and dopey
I mean,
and
how
doc,
long have people called you Jangles?
Jingles? That's another one that we could go on and reference.
Come on, Wheat Teeth. Come on, QB. Come on, Sawy.
I can't imagine how many times Jack has heard, "Hey, how you doing, Red?"
I've been called red a lot. But that's not a handicap unless the sun's shining.
Oh, speaking of Daywalkers, Donnie Yen was in Blade 2.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
So,
played Snowman.
Norman
Cassian,
Reedus was Scud in that shit.
Yeah, he
great.
was.
Yeah, badass.
Cassian does shoot one of these Saw Gerrera guys because he's about to throw a grenade and Jen Erso's down there. So that puts
Because
him in
she's
the
saving a kid.
yeah, that puts him in the negative graces of Two Tubes and Saw Gerrera's people. And there's also a sentient Yeti running around. So it's not the one that it's not the same ones that killed or tried to kill Luke.
Wampa.
Yeah, it's not one of those.
It's not a Wampa. It's a G name. I can't remember it right now.
Okay.
It's like
Desert Wampa.
Well, he's white, so I imagine
Oh,
he's a
it's-
snow thing.
ugh, all
So
you,
it was like in Tucson when we had a polar bear at the zoo.
all you white hairy aliens look alike to me.
Well, he looked different than a Wampa, but he is a
and
giant
he is
Yeti
sentient. I mean, he's stands out in the crowd.
man. Yes, he does.
Like if you track this guy as a rebel, you're like, there he is. He's actually 3 streets over. I can see the top of his stupid fucking head.
it's either him or a really tall geriatric man. And
Oh,
then,
sorry, somebody must have bleached Chewbacca.
but the Empire gets backup from, and I always get these two mixed up. This is the ATST, right?
Yes,
The smaller
ATST
one?
is the
Alright.
chicken walker.
So the ATST shows up, and that's pretty much it for.
Which actually, and it makes it look like where you've watched it in previous things, and you're like, what a stupid and practical fucking device. You actually see it like do some fucking damage in a situation.
Well, 'cause,
you
I mean, we
understand,
saw
like,
it against,
why
like-
the Empire thought this was practical.
We saw it against like ships and stuff mostly. I mean, on Endor, you see it against fucking
Trees,
trees,
rocks,
and
also, too, though,
Gravity.
Teddy
if
teddy
I'm
bears,
Saw
yeah.
Gerrera's people, I'm just like in the windows and shooting strings across and tripping that fucker up. Like,
Well, they didn't see the original movie yet. It hasn't come out
Exactly.
yet.
Luke hasn't done that move yet, dude.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not a super practical thing. We saw it in Mandalorian also. It's not super practical, but if it's against a bunch of people walking around,
Do you know what this is though? The Empire is terror tactics. They're a paper tiger. They do not have the manpower to be what they want. So they intimidate instead. And what looks intimidating is a giant chicken walker looking through your fucking window.
look, that
What's
thing,
going on
Power
there?
doesn't panic, Jack.
that thing may not
Exactly.
be intimidating looking so per se, but when those guns fire, and especially with the sound design of this movie,
Uh-huh.
it's intimidating.
I agree because I would say, imagine that 30-foot Home Depot skeleton shoots lasers at you.
Terrifying.
Right? Exactly. Terrifying. Which
that
is
lives down the street from one.
Yeah.
Is that the same one Adam has?
yes, it is.
Yeah,
It
that
really
thing-
is
that thing's
fucking thing.
terrifying.
I know it is. It's huge.
Now
that
imagine
shit
laser
just shooting
eyes.
at you. Yeah. Or how about all these just fucking bullets? Imagine shooting bullets at you from his fucking eyeballs.
You know, now you're giving people ideas.
I don't think he's giving anybody
Yeah,
ideas
yeah.
that
Someone
didn't
can either
already
wake
have
up-
that
This
idea.
is happening in Arkansas somewhere right
It's
now.
happening
man,
in Tucson right
that
now.
statue's pretty cool, but how can we make it shoot?
I'm gonna shoot again.
Your
It'd
one
be a
fan
lot
in
cooler if
Mississippi
it's
is
shot.
like, motherfucker.
Imagine if that statue of Robert E. Lee had guns in his eyeballs. That's the end of part 1 of our discussion on Rogue One. The second half will be out in 2 weeks on February 12th. So tune back in for the rest of this talk. And then after that, we dive into Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.